And by the way, we're not black. How about that? We're not black, nigga. We're Indian. Yeah. We're Native American. Yeah. How many of y'all grandmothers got Indian in your family?
Yeah, I'm first. Period. I'm Indian.
Wait a second, but what happened to the Indians? We black. Show me black on the planet. Why you stop recording?
He knows the fucking shit.
Why you sound crazy? Nah, cause you think I sound crazy. Nah, cause you think I sound crazy.
Stop it. Get some help.
What's good, everybody? It's your brother YK the Truth. Now, the research guy calls himself going in on Umar Johnson, saying that Umar Johnson admitted that he was indigenous Black American Indian. Now, I'm going to play the video, but I'm going to show you that this is the pot calling the kettle black. Let's go.
I want to get into this video because this dude just says things out of his mouth sometimes that it makes me wonder, man, about this guy. All right, watch this though.
See all these American Africans with this whole I'm a Native American. Again, just like with the Hebrew, you may have some Native American blood. My grandmother, her grandmother or great-grandmother was Native American. And if you saw my grandmother, you could see it. You know what I mean? But that don't stop you from being African because once again, you got 64 great-great-greats. Okay, so if you...
Now, what is a lie about what he said? What is a lie about what he said? You guys love going to one grandmother, but you never bring up the other parents or the other grandparents. You guys act like you only have one grandmother. So far, nothing Umar Johnson said was a lie. But I'm going to show you though. Watch this. Keep watching.
You got two natives, you got a few Hebrews, you got a few Caucasians. Most of them are still going to be African. So how y'all getting off talking about you never came from Africa?
And Umar Johnson is going to prove what he's saying. And I'm going to prove what he's saying using the research guide. Remember, watch this.
Africa, and you look just like an African. The only people in the world who look like Africans are Africans. Okay? But you got this, but here we go again, that self-hate. I don't want to be black, so let me...
You could tell this is self-hatred. Just look at the research guy's face when he talks about Africa.
Try to call myself this, call myself that. I'm indigenous, I'm aboriginal. Well, first of all, both of those words came from white men. And neither word is older than the word Africa. So what are we talking about here? We always trying to run away from who we are. And my thing to people like the Honorable Marcus Garvey said, you can't name yourself out of oppression.
That's a fact. You cannot name yourself out of oppression. You think because you call yourself a Moor, that's going to save you. You think because you call yourself Aboriginal, that's going to save you. You're still going to get treated like a Nigger at the end of the day.
You can't philosophize yourself out of oppression. You got to struggle and work your way out of oppression. They think if I call myself a Native American, your problems are going to be gone. No, they're not, because white folks know who you are. Everybody knows who you are but you.
Woo! Umar Johnson, you said a whole lot, brother. You said a whole lot in that video, and I'm not going to go over everything because there's no need to go over everything. But one thing he said is that his grandmother is American Indian. He admitted that, okay? That's number one, so we're not even finna go over that. Number two, he says something about Native American. We never said we were Native Americans. Native Americans and American Aborigines are two different groups of people.
Now it says, okay, so it says American Indian or Native American or Amerindian or Indigenous American, any member of the various Aboriginal peoples of the Western Hemisphere, with the exception of the Eskimos, Inuit, and the Aleuts. Though the term Native American is today often preferred to American Indian, particularly in the U.S., many Native American peoples continue to prefer American Indian. So it says various Aboriginal people. So it's all the same thing. And this is according to the Encyclopedia of Britannica. So stop saying that Aboriginal and Native American is not the same, because that's a lie. And that's why I call you the research lie. Native American, Aboriginals, American Indians, Indians are the same exact thing. You guys want to make it something different, but it's not. See, you want us to believe in this colonialism of Mexico with the slaves coming from the Manila market, but it's only 100,000 slaves. So you got to stop using that. Native American and Aboriginal is the same damn thing. Let's play the video.
You need to understand those terms first before you use those terms to identify our people. Then you try to turn it around and say American African as if you're not saying African American. It's the same thing. You're trying to do the same thing everybody else is doing that you're claiming. You're trying to do the same thing. It does.
And just like you're trying to do the same thing, because the last time I checked, according to your DNA that you took, which I think is bogus, you're only 24% indigenous.
So what y'all looking at right now, y'all looking at results from a DNA test. Yes, I know y'all gonna be like, oh man, you shouldn't have given me your DNA. But you gotta spit in this tube to a certain amount, and then there's some little blue liquid that come in, and you screw it in, and the blue liquid goes into your spit, and you shake it up, put it in, and mail it off. That's what you do with it. That's exactly how. And it does say African. It does say African. It says I think it says 21% Nigerian, and it says I think I got some Mali.
So if you're only 24% indigenous, what is the other 75%? African. So even your own video debunks what you're saying. Because Umar Johnson's saying you got one grandmother, and you literally have 24% according to your DNA test, which I don't believe is your DNA test. But let's give you the benefit of the doubt, the research lie. So you are African, and you're doing the same exact thing that you're accusing Umar Johnson of doing.
It doesn't work that way. You just admitted that your grandmother was indigenous. It doesn't work that way.
It does say African.
You just
admitted that your DNA is predominantly African. You have to hold that L. Before you call somebody else out, remember the things that you put on the internet first. Before you step out on the limb, remember what you post, because you're an African. You're more African than you are indigenous. Do you remember? Must we go there? Must we remind you that you're African? That you look African? But you guys have so much self-hatred, and you guys have the white man inside of you, that you think you want to be anything but African. You hate Africa so much that day in and day out, you make these videos cherry picking information just so you could be a pretendian, because you're not an Indian. You lie, you manipulate genealogies, you do everything in your power to make black people Indian when they're not.
Admitted that. So if you have indigenous ancestors and you come from these indigenous ancestors, nobody here today, right now, that's saying that they're a Black American, African American, American Indian, I'm a Pan-African, whatever you are, came off of a slave ship. So if you have indigenous ancestors.
No, but the history is real. Our ancestors did come off of a slave ship. Your ancestors came off of a slave ship. This is why you're predominantly African, the research lie. Your ancestors came off of a slave ship. Man, I don't even want to play any more of the video, man. This guy is a hypocrite. Get your DNA test. The research guy encourages you to get your DNA test. So with that being said, it's your brother YK The Truth. Like the video, share the video. I will be making videos on a regular, every day, making videos, going in on this Aboriginal indoctrination. Because it's all cap. I'm out. Peace.